have always wanted to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Not once has anyone ever told me, you're losing the plot.
Yeah.
Everyone's always said, go do it. Having a career is not for everyone. Be realistic about that. You know, getting married is not for everyone. Having children is not for everyone. Learn the ropes well. Learn about the boundaries well, because only if you know about the boundaries will you be able to break them properly. Like I tell a lot of them, and again, I tell my nephews and nieces that listen, you can put what you do on social media. Social media can't be what you do. And doom scrolling is making a lot of money for a lot of people these days.
Yeah, it is.
But if tomorrow it's not there, are you relevant? I've left a question in the end. And what I'm hoping the readers do is, I hope they use this book as a journal. And with that question in the end, I hope they scribble their answers.
So, hi, Saheba, and welcome to the About Her Show. This is a
Thank you.
show where we get trailblazing women to share the story of their lives with us, to tell us about their successes, failures, ups and downs, challenges, all of it, so that not only do they get a platform to showcase themselves, but they also help us inspire other women. Women who are listening in, women who have dreams, ambitions, but for some reason, are not able to pursue them. So this, inspires them, and we don't know, what you say, how you say, what is it that is just going to trigger them to start following what their heart really wants. And
Right.
along with women, we also get men on the show because we believe that for a truly gender inclusive world, men and women need to be allies in this journey. Now, one of the things that we're doing on the show,
100% agree.
yes, absolutely. So, one of the things that we are doing is we're exploring different themes, and one of the themes that we have on the show is the road less traveled, where we're talking to people who are either, following unconventional paths or they're doing a conventional
Right.
thing in an unconventional way. So when I looked at your journey, your profile, I found it very interesting. I mean, on the one hand, you are
Thank
writing
you.
poetry, which a lot of people do, but then you also want to perform. You also want your readers to contribute, which makes it, very, very interactive. And then you are also an entrepreneur. So you're combining two disciplines, you're doing things in a different way. So I think that makes you absolutely perfect, to be on this show and to be part of this theme, which is the
Thank
road
you.
travel. So a very,
Thank
very
you.
warm
I'm
welcome.
not that cool. You made me sound very cool.
Well, but it is very cool.
Thank
All
you.
right. So let's get started. And
Yeah.
with the first question, and which is that your book, All Kinds of Stupid. Now, it explores themes of grief, love, and healing. So, what part of your personal journey shaped this collection the most?
All of it, actually. All of it did.
Hmm.
But having said that, I've been asked this question before, and I have gone through grief. I've been through healing. I've been through all of that. I've been through my mental health journey. But like I always say, I'm not the only one who has. Almost everybody I know has. Nobody's life is a constant uphill graph.
True.
So I think losing, healing, grieving is a very ongoing cycle of life. I mean, even if all the facets of your life all the facets of our lives that we control, and say we can control them perfectly, even then, something will strike, right? Nature will strike, death will strike, sickness will strike, something or the other will strike, no matter how perfectly we design our lives. So yes, this book does borrow from my life a lot. A lot of it is me. A lot of it is also stuff that I have lived vicariously through people who are close to me, or people I've heard about, or people who I've seen and interacted with who are going through their journey. And I think what has come across is an interpretation of their experiences, which I've been able to relate to and somehow led them with mine. And yeah, all kinds of stupid came about.
Wonderful. Actually, you're so right. We go through different kinds of experiences. Then we also see when other people are, experiencing different kinds of things, and that does have an impact on us. It's not only you, like you said, everybody goes through, and this is a normal part of life. So what I have,
It is.
yeah, that you straddle the world of poetry, performance, and design. So how did each of these enter into your life, and then how do they complement each other? You're an entrepreneur also, and you're doing poetry, and you're performing. So, different ways. So how do they all kind of connect?
They connect, and also, I do a lot more. But here's what I feel about uh, any and every kind of creative expression,
Okay.
right? I feel that no creative expression, in fact, I wrote about this a couple of weeks back. It's on my Instagram handle, that no creative expression stands in isolation, right? So now suppose I listen to a beautiful piece of music, right? And that music, I know nothing about making music. I can't even sing in the shower. I'm a total zero when it comes to music, but I enjoy music. And suppose I listen to some great music that will stir maybe something in me. And that might make me make some kind of art, or might make me sketch in a certain kind of way. Um, by virtue of doing that, I might feel that this kind of art will also look beautiful in a wall panel in a design space.
Right.
And somebody might be then interacting with that design space, and it might remind them of maybe a monument they've seen somewhere, that, oh, something like this was in that monument somewhere. And it might remind them of that monument, and then that monument might remind a dancer that how beautiful would be if I can choreograph around this monument.
Right.
And somebody like you and me might be seeing that dance performance, and that dance performance might take us somewhere and might take us to a book, and that book might take you somewhere. So you see, no creative expression, rendition, or a creative person ever stands in isolation. I think we all trigger one thing in another. Every creative expression is triggered from somewhere.
Right.
So I think design is my bread and butter. That is what I went to design school for, and I learned that. But while I was doing that, I'm old school. I still design by hand, and designing by hand and making sketches always gave me a lot of joy. That's the best part about this. And when I started sketching, then I started sketching on bigger boards,
Hmm.
and there my art came about. And also because I was, well, going through my own journey of everything, like I said, growing up, healing, adulting, designing.
Hmm.
I would also pen down a lot of my thoughts, and the journey of design and art, wherever it took me, it also like made me feel a lot of things.
Hmm.
So that's how the book came about. But yeah, my very, very firm belief is that, again, no creative expression is ever in isolation. One is always triggered by another. I mean, even if you are reading a book
Hmm.
today,
Hmm.
so you go back to a book, an old book that you read, and you go back to that, and you'll get reminded of maybe a vacation you took on the hills with your friends where you read that book for the first time,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that might take you someplace else. So yeah, I think that is how I interconnect my journey. But if you think about any kind of creative form, you will realize that it originated from somewhere and it's going to lend somewhere. So that's how my dots connect. And I think that's how all the creative dots all over the world connect.
Very wonderfully put, actually. You're so right, because whenever you're doing something, like you said, reading a book, even if you're reading it for the first time, it does take you somewhere. And sometimes from that book, some creative instinct of yours, gets ignited, and you want to do something about it, whether sing a song or pen down your thoughts, or just kind of express yourself
Yeah.
in some way. I mean, somebody might want to paint or draw, sketch, whatever. So yeah, you're like, but you've done it beautifully, that I must say. And like I said, in a very
Thank you.
unconventional and unusual way.
Thank you. Thank you so much. For instance, even if you're cooking something
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're cooking something that maybe your grandmom made, Cooking's creative as well, right?
Of course, of course.
Uh, the smell of cooking will take you somewhere, and it might remind you of like something that maybe your grandmother wore, and you might find a designer who designs an outfit like that. It's
Yeah.
happened with me. i've,
Oh,
I've tried to find a lot of things that my grandmom's sense of style. I've tried to find that a lot these days.
okay.
So yeah, it's all very interlinked, isn't it?
It is. It is. And the way you put it, of course, makes it so much more clearer, that yes, it is. It's linked. All right.
I was talking to my friend Shivani the other day. She's a very good dancer.
Hmm.
And she was telling me that she saw, I think, I don't know where she was. She saw an art form where um, that artist was performing in silence. I can't remember exactly what.
Hmm.
And she's a dancer, and music is kind of indispensable to dance, I would think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she kind of went into this whole trip and she thought that, how would I do a silent choreography? And she did, and she performed, and it was surreal.
I get.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's fascinating if we take the time to like sort of connect the dots. The dots connect in the most amazing ways.
Yeah. That's true. So tell me, of course, you decided to follow a path, however, unconventional or unusual it may have been. And of course, every path, every decision that we take in life, does come with its own set of challenges.
Yeah.
As a woman artist and an entrepreneur, what were some of the toughest challenges that you faced? And do you think that anything out of those was related to, some kind of a gender bias or societal expectations?
I have been very fortunate. No, quite honestly, I have never faced anything because any adversity because I am a woman.
Hmm.
Barring some really really small things, like I'll give you one example, but it is so minuscule. Like, of course, I mean I'm an interior designer and that's creative, but it also comes with your technical know-how has to be really sound.
Right.
Heat load calculations and electrical calculations and this and that, and so there's a very technical side to it as well. So I guess initially in my career, when I would be talking to these consultants who would do the air conditioning, electrical, all of that, if I would sort of tell them how to work out a solution,
Hmm.
yeah, I would sometimes see a little bit of a snicker that what would this girl know of something so technical. But I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of those meetings, I always enjoyed watching those smiles disappear because I knew my stuff.
Huh.
But other than that, no, this is not something I have ever faced. Every adversity that I've ever faced has been the kind of adversity that every man and woman will feel or come across.
Hmm.
None of them have been gender biases. Very fortunately, I come from a very, very evolved family. Ever since we were kids, and I grew up in a joint family, there was absolutely no discrimination between the boys and the girls in the house.
Hmm.
Um, I never faced it there. I never faced it at work.
Okay.
But yeah, as an individual, as an entrepreneur, whether you're male, you're female, or you identify as something else,
Yeah.
uh, one never knows what's the right way to say things these days, right?
Right.
So, I mean, yes, I have faced those kinds of adversities, but never something because I am a woman, except I think the biological challenges.
Okay.
For example, I have had very, very hard days where I was supposed to be physically out and about, and maybe I was on my period.
Hmm.
And, maybe I was cramping really badly, and, I was just nauseous and I was dizzy. But you can't really blame the world for that, right? I
Okay.
mean, those are just,
Yeah.
or maybe I was PMSing, my emotions were heightened and everything. So I think the challenges I have faced are more like God given, which
Okay.
I think all us women do.
Yeah.
Nobody else has ever made me feel any less of a person because I'm a girl. If anything, I think it has enabled me more.
Wonderful. That's really, really wonderful to know. All right. So, of course, you talk about vulnerabilities, you talk about, grief, and you talk about all such kinds of emotions. So tell me, what does vulnerability mean to you? Especially as someone who expresses it so openly through your, poetry and through your act. You do it so wonderfully. So what does it actually mean to you?
It's very tricky because vulnerability, without a doubt, comes from a place of honesty,
Yes.
comes from a place of truth.
Right.
You cannot be vulnerable if you're not honest and you're not truthful to
Right.
yourself or about yourself. Having said that, I have all I have found that the truth is never yours alone, or the truth is never mine alone.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, the truth belongs to a lot of people. One particular truth belongs to a lot of people.
Right.
And it is very easy to sort of come out and say that I am going to speak the truth.
Hmm.
But if we take a second, I think it is also very nice to sort of think that how will that truth affect other people who are involved in it?
Hmm.
Because that truth touches every truth touches a lot of people, right?
Right.
How will that truth affect them? What are the questions people will ask those people?
Hmm.
They might have dealt with the truth differently. They might be living your life in a different way. They might be living their life in a different way.
Right.
I'll give you an example. Suppose you have an issue with your grandmother, right? And say your grandmother was not nice to you.
Hmm.
You can come out and say that, my grandmother wasn't nice to me.
Right.
But maybe your siblings see it another way. Maybe your parents see it another way. And then if uh, you go out and speak about this, there are 40 other people who are going to talk to everybody who was in that equation,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? And it might trigger buttons for them, and they might not view it like that, and they might be okay with her. They might have dealt with it differently. So I think, yes, always be truthful, but I think be careful with the truth. And I think I'm vulnerable because I'm careful with the truth. I think I'm always truthful, even if that means saying that this is not something I want to talk about. It's too painful. I'm being truthful about that, that this is painful. I will not talk about it. Or this affects other people. It is not my place to say this.
Right.
I will be honest about that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think to be vulnerable, you have to be truthful. And to be truly truthful means you're not hurting. You should not consciously hurt other people or have them questioned or have their decisions maligned. So it's a very delicate toss up.
It is. It is. Because you're so right. Your truth may not be somebody else's truth. What is truth
Yeah.
for you may be
Yeah.
viewed by them differently. So you cannot express your vulnerability or your truth at the cost of someone
Yeah.
else's happiness, comfort, or belief, or whatever it may be. So you have to be truthful but careful. That I think is,
Very careful. Like
it
I
is
gave you an
key.
example of, I had brilliant grandmothers, but I gave you an example of maybe, your grandmom was nasty to you, but maybe she was amazing to your mom.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
if you speak about her negatively today, your mom is going to feel
yeah, yeah,
like, what the hell? Why was this needed? So,
yeah.
yeah, be truthful, but be careful in that toss up between truth and
Right.
balancing the intention to not hurt somebody.
Absolutely. Very well. Okay, so in your experience, how does creating, whether it is in design or it is in poetry, it, helps you make sense of the emotional pain or your, the complex life experiences? I mean, how do you kind of use that to maybe express them or, like I said, make sense of what you've felt?
For me, that works like therapy. In fact, for me, that works better. For me, that works like therapy. In fact, for me, that works better than therapy.
Okay.
Uh, Design, of course, is layered. Like I said, the first 5% is creative and the last 5% is creative. The rest of the 90% in the middle is a whole lot of logical things
Hmm.
that need to be done to see that design from concept to commission.
Yeah.
Um, so I might not necessarily find my happy space all the time there,
Hmm. Hmm.
but Other than that, I think whenever I'm writing, or especially when I'm in my art studio and creating art, that is, I don't even know then what happens. I don't even know how much time passes by. I don't know if I'm there for minutes or hours or the whole night.
Hmm.
I'm not hungry. I'm not thirsty. I'm nothing. And I think that's where my brain gets all the serotonin that it needs.
Hmm.
So for me, I think I find a lot of peace, a lot of tranquility, a lot of happiness. And it's strange. It's like, I don't know what, something in my gut it aligns with whatever my purpose might be. I think all of us come down here with a purpose. We might not necessarily realize what it is,
Hmm.
and I don't know what my purpose is, but I do know that whatever is my purpose, whenever I am sort of creating, there is a chord that connects my gut to that written purpose. And one day I'm sure I'll figure it out. I'm not there yet,
Okay.
but yes, for me that is my very it's almost meditative for me. That's how I meditate.
Okay, wonderful. That's like, yes, because I guess when you're in a different space altogether, maybe like just cut off from the rest of the world and it's helping you, like you said, it's therapy for you. So, it is
Absolutely.
helping you cope up in a way that maybe at that point you're not aware of, but it is, helping nonetheless.
On my worst days, I just come down to my art studio, and even if I have nothing planned about what I want to do,
Yeah.
I just start messing about with all the material that I have. And I just, even something happens.
Right.
Uh, or, I start something and that thing might not work out, but I might figure out 40 new techniques to do a lot of things.
Hmm.
I might find out different things about new materials, about how to use them. And it's extremely immersive.
Yeah.
And I think once it is immersive, then I can also perform it, because then it comes naturally to me.
Yeah.
I think any kind of performance has to finally, if people have to watch it and enjoy it, it has to come naturally to you. You
Yeah.
have to immerse yourself in it. It can't be contrived. So I think spending a lot of time in my art studio, figuring all of that out, it helps me with my art performances. It helps me be a better designer. It helps me be a calmer person.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so yeah.
So along with, of course, you performing and you expressing yourself in this way, you also kind of, invite your readers to do the same, to write or sketch, as I've
Yes.
seen. So what has inspired this interactive approach, and how do you hope people can use your book in their healing process or in their healing journey?
I've realized, and that's also true about me. A lot of times we feel a lot of things,
Hmm.
but we can't put a finger on it and say this,
Right.
right? And even if we can put a finger on it and say, okay, maybe this is how I'm feeling, I might not always have a takeaway, or I might not always know, actually, I'm feeling this way, but then what do I do about it? So, what I have tried to do is I've tried to pen down very simple emotions, and fortunately, I think that's been my biggest win with this book, is that everyone who's read it
Hmm.
has said one word that everyone consistently has always told me, is that it's so relatable.
Wow.
It is relatable, and for me that is so big that they were like, we could relate to it. It was so simple, but we could relate to it. It's something that I could never figure out for myself, but when I read it, I felt, damn, I've been there.
Yeah.
So what I tried to do, and that was done, and then what I wanted actually to see, I don't know if I'll ever get to see it, but I hope people do. I've left a question in the end,
Hmm.
and what I'm hoping the readers do is, I hope they use this book as a journal. And with that question in the end, I hope they scribble their answers.
Yeah.
It will be so interesting to see that I might have written something feeling a certain way or thinking about something,
Right. Right.
but somebody else might have read it in a completely different way.
Hmm.
Um, And I'd like to see how is it that they translated it, how what chord did it ring in their head. So for example, like I remember a friend of mine had was blessed with a daughter, and we were sitting one day, and she had just about started walking,
Mm.
and that song was playing, the uh, Diljit Dosanjh song, "Ek Kudi Jeda Na Mohabbat Gum Hai." It's a beautiful song, and it's a love ballad. And my friend said, which actually made me really think about how we all think the same expression can have translate so differently for different people. And he said, earlier when I would hear this song, I would think of it as a love ballad.
Mm.
He said, but now when I hear this song, I think of my daughter. I said,
Oh.
how does this song make you think of your daughter?
Yeah.
And he said, listen to the lyrics.
Mm.
And it was, "Ik kudi jeda na mohabbat gum hai." And he was like, she's so lost. She's just started learning how to walk. And,
Wow.
Surat os di pariya vargi, sirat di o uh, Mariam lagdi, hasdi hai ta phul chढ़de ne, turdi hai ta ghazal hai lagdi. And I was like, oh yeah, damn, you're right. This is her right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I really want, and I hope it gets to me one day, is I hope people write whatever they felt.
Mm.
They answer those questions, and I hope I can read them one day. I hope they DM it to me, or somehow put it up somewhere. And I hope I can see how different people have translated things, and maybe that will lead me to another book.
Wow. I mean, this is so, so wonderful to hear, because I mean, you've just taken me on a whole, different plane because you're so right. Different people interpret things differently. I mean, like
Yeah,
talking about this song and the way he's
yeah,
looking at it, the way we would, kind of interpret it is so different. And maybe the
completely.
singer is interpreting it in an altogether different way. Who knows?
Yeah,
But yes,
yeah,
taking cognizance of the fact, accepting the facts or bringing that fact to light that different people can view things differently. Wow. And if
yeah.
people, like you said, if they all kind of, DM you or tell you what they felt about it, wow,
It'll
that
be
would,
so nice.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm not looking for any, like, you don't have to tag me or anything, but if people can just DM me and
yeah,
I can read what like they thought, that would be amazing. In fact, one time I remember somebody told me that, when you write, it sounds like you're pining for someone, that you've loved someone and you've lost someone and you're pining for that person. I said, maybe I haven't, maybe I haven't. But the question I want to ask you, sweetheart, is who are you pining for? Because that is how you are translating it, right? I might be writing about my dog,
yeah,
for
yeah,
all that you
yeah.
know.
Right.
And in fact, in one of my posts, I did that. It was, I've forgotten what it was, but basically it had a I miss you kind of a vibe. I've forgotten which post was that. I'll look it up and I'll send it to you. But basically it was about missing someone more than life itself. And there's nobody I've loved as much as I love my dog. And I lost him in 2020. And
Mhm.
after I wrote that whole thing in the carousel, my last picture was with him.
Okay, okay.
And there were a bunch of people who told me, oh, I thought you were talking about somebody you've loved and lost. I said, I was talking about my dog. So yeah. So the person, when he asked me, who are you pining for? I said, you tell me, who are you pining for? I am not pining for anyone.
Yeah, because for this to have triggered that thought in your head,
Yeah.
means that you are pining. So yeah, good question.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so tell me, in this absolutely fascinating journey of yours, who have been your people, who've influenced you or who've mentored you both creatively and personally, and how did they kind of help you, shape your voice or put your thoughts together?
I have had no one particular mentor per se, but there have been a lot of things that I have, a lot of people who have influenced me, who've inspired me. To begin with, I think both my grandmothers, they're not in this world anymore. The most strong, solid, beautiful, elegant, progressive women I'd ever met. And I don't think I realized that as a kid, but when I think about them now, wow, I mean, they were just insane. They went through a lot of hardships. And when they told us those stories, they were never told with any ounce of self pity. It was always told like a story, and the end of the story was always, you figured it out. It gets figured out. And then I think I have been very inspired by my chachu, my younger brother. Um, he is an architect, one of the best globally, and I don't think he has ever practiced his craft and his design skills to be successful. He has practiced them, and he is phenomenal. I think one of the greatest designers to have ever lived, because he loves his craft. I mean, like I said, he immerses himself in it. It is meditation for him. And success has just been a byproduct of that. He's been a hugely inspiring presence in my life. Then this friend of mine, he's a designer. I don't even know if I should call him a designer. He's just a freak of nature, Ayaz Basrai. He does some crazy research. He's trying to figure out how will drones be parked in 2040, and how will cities live when they are underwater. And he's just on another tangent altogether. So I think his ability, not just ability, his will to think ahead, whether it gets him a check home or not, it's irrespective. I think he's been incredibly inspiring. All my friends, my sister, my siblings, they have all been always so supportive of everything I wanted to do, because I have always wanted to do a lot of things. Not once has anyone ever told me, you're losing the plot. Everyone's always said, go do it. What's the worst that can happen? Just go do it. My friend Neha, this book, in fact, she's published it. Her publishing house has published it. She spent 3 years polishing the book with me. It started from a completely different place. And finally, when it came out, it was completely different. But the amount of time she and I spent polishing this book, whether we were sitting in bed and reading it, or we were sitting in office and kind of making sense of it, or so she has, and I have some incredible friends who've given me the kind of emotional support I've always needed. I have massively struggled with my mental health. And a whole bunch of them have been responsible for me just being alive today. So I mean, there have been people who've not given up on me, even when I was very close to giving up on myself. So I have a beautiful, blessed life. They say you're lucky if you can count the number of people you love on one hand. I run out of hands, fingers, toes, organs, kidneys.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So, I mean, these are the people who are constantly inspiring me. And I think knowingly or unknowingly, they mentor me. Of course, I can always go to them, but I also have a lot of trouble asking for help. That's just who I am. I'm trying to work on it. But yes, these are the people I have a lot of people who've made everything that I do possible today.
Really, really wonderful to know. So tell me, of course, you have this set of people with you and around you who kind of know when you need help and they're there for you. But if you were to give some advice to young women who, feel torn between choosing a stable career and, follow a creative path or a creative calling, what advice would you want to give them?
God, I sound a little regressive and a little heartless when I say this, but this is really what I feel.
Okay.
Please make sure that you make every decision consciously. Okay. Just because you're a man or a woman, either, right? Having a career is not for everyone. Be realistic about that. Getting married is not for everyone. Having children is not for everyone. Okay. Whether you're a man or a woman. So first, be very, very clear about what will make you happy. Okay. Yes, I am told that having children is the biggest happiness. And I respect that, but I knew very clearly that it was not for me. And I think well into my 30s, I also knew getting married was not for me. And I think I can do everything that I do is because I have the bandwidth to do it. I am not responsible for other people. And even though it's not might. Giving children a wonderful childhood is a great thing. But then if you want to sacrifice your creative dreams to some extent, then do it without any regret.
True.
Then you cannot be resentful towards your family, towards your children. You can't say, I did this for you, I did that for you, which I find a lot of people doing. You chose what you chose because it made you happy, because it is what you wanted to do. Right. And like I said, I've been very, very lucky. There has been no pressure. I'm from a family where no pressure is put on the kids to do the obvious, like get married, have children. You want to get married? Great. And often on that does come up in good humor. You don't want to get married? Like, no, I don't want to get married. But whatever decision you make, please own it. Right. The whole world can tell you, no, you have to have children. No, you have to get married. Or no, you have to have a career. No. One thing is that if you don't want to get married, that's great. The other thing is, please be very unapologetic if you also don't want to have a career. Right. Say, I want to be looked after, and own that. Don't pretend that, oh no, I wanted to work, and no, I wanted to do this, but I got married, but I had children. I mean, that I have very little patience for. Own your decisions. And that is what I tell all my young nieces, nephews, that whatever you do, it's your life. The choices are yours to make. You have to make your choices work for you, boss. You cannot hold anyone responsible for anything that happened in the past. However traumatic your childhood might have been, however less opportunities you might have had at fancy education or whatever, you have to make your choices work, and there is always a way. So make your decisions very carefully, very consciously, and then don't pen them down on someone else. Nobody else is responsible for it. You are responsible for them. So have kids if that works for you. Get married if that works for you. Have a career if that works for you. Feminism has nothing to do with necessarily being independent. Feminism is about owning your decisions. Correct. And if being a homemaker is your calling, then own that decision. Own it beautifully. Own it gracefully. So yes, that is my advice to men, boys, girls, everyone, that be very, very cautious and careful about your decisions, and then live them happily. True. Being happy is important.
So, Saheba, entrepreneurship can be overwhelming as it is. You're starting to do something, it is your own baby, and, you're kind of starting from scratch and all of that. And obviously, you want to succeed. And then if you're doing something like a creative entrepreneurship, which has both, like in a way, your head and heart into it. So since you do it, I think you could be one of the best people to just share 3 practical tips for someone who wants to combine these 2 aspects.
Okay. The first one, which I think I did because I was just impatient and naive and stupid when I started my career. I did not spend enough time in a job. I just dove right in. I think I must have done an internship for 6 months somewhere, and then I just started off on my own. The upside of that was that, I learned everything very, very fast because my mistakes were literally costing me money. So it was like a crash course. But having said that, I think I would have done much better if I had trained under somebody and worked with someone for a while. This was my situation when I started work. But what I find nowadays is that, the professionals who come to our office, who've just gotten out of school, they're looking for jobs. That's the instant gratification lot, right? They want instant gratification and instant validation and instant this and instant that. And a lot of times I find that, when we ask them a couple of technical questions, they have no idea about those, even the really basic ones. But their immediate short-term goal when you ask them is that, oh, I want to open my own firm. I want to do my own thing. I want to become an influencer. I want to this. So what I want to tell them is that stop looking for instant gratification, especially early on in your career, whatever you might be doing. Your end goal might be that you want to be an entrepreneur, and that is fantastic. But learn the ropes well. Learn about the boundaries well, because only if you know about the boundaries will you be able to break them properly.
Correct.
Otherwise, you'll just be running around like a headless chicken and it'll just be costing you money. That's one. The second thing that I want to tell people, and I want to tell the generation that's getting into choosing their career paths, etc., that there is a lot of noise on social media, right? If you want to be an entrepreneur, just having a social media page and having influencers validate what you are doing is not going to cut it. When you ask anybody who's starting any venture these days and you ask them, what's your business plan? What's your strategy? The first answer that comes is, oh, I'm going to have this influencer validating it. I'm going to have that influencer validating it. I'm going to this. And quite honestly, I don't know how much that means in this day and age. Right? You can do that for hygiene, sure. But at the end of the day, what you do has to be the real meat. Right. Your scale has to be the real meat. And that is what you have to put out there. Like I tell a lot of them, and again, I tell my nephews and nieces that, listen, you can put what you do on social media. Social media can't be what you do.
True. Very true.
It's a great tool. Use it. Put what you do out there. Right? Don't be part. And it's not like people these days are not making a lot of money by being a part of the doom scrolling process. A lot of influencers make crazy money just by being prominent on doom scrolling. But tomorrow, for instance, now TikTok got banned, right? For instance, I mean, this is what I tell everyone. Think that there is no social media. Will someone take the time to log on to your web page or to log on to the internet to find you? If doom scrolling is somehow not a part of our lives tomorrow, will you even be relevant? You see a lot of these get ready with me videos and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But that's entertaining. Even I watch it. But it's all part of doom scrolling. And doom scrolling is making a lot of money for a lot of people these days.
Yeah, it is.
But if tomorrow it's not there, are you relevant? If doom scrolling is not a part of our lives tomorrow, will you even be relevant? And I think that answer might scare a lot of people. It might even scare a lot of very influential influencers. So that's the second piece of advice, that put what you do on social media, great marketing tool, but social media cannot be what you do. Just looking pretty on social media is not going to cut it. The third is have a very strong sense of giving back. Giving back to whoever it is who's nurtured you, whoever, say, even like the cook in your house, your drivers, give them great lives. Don't grow in isolation. It's no fun growing in isolation. Enable everybody in your life who you can enable, who needs enabling. If you are in a place where, for me, I got a cutoff on how much I will spend on a car, right? And that works for me. Anything that I have over and above that is used to enable people in my life. Whether it is the staff in my house or whether it is, people in family, friends circle who might need it, etc. So it's no fun growing alone. Always grow together. Having a village is very important. And if you are enabling your village, you are at the end of the day only making your own position a lot more powerful, a lot more strong.
Yeah.
It takes a village, no matter what you're going to do, right? So enable your village if you're in a position to. Don't just think about me. Like, I'm a designer and I know this, and it breaks my heart. When we design houses, absolutely zero attention is given to annexia and to the places where your staff stays. Um, my staff has an air conditioned room. They have great beds. They have great linen. They have a TV in their room. They eat the same food we eat. If we are ordering in, they eat what we eat. The food is ordered for them exactly from the same place, unless they want something else.
Yeah.
If you enable people, they will look after you. And like I said, you're as powerful as your village,
Absolutely.
and making your village powerful is on you. So I think it's nice to have a hard cutoff on, this is what I'll spend on cars, this is what I'll spend on my house, this is what I'll spend on my designer bags. I
Yeah.
do all of that. I'm not saying I don't,
Mm.
but have a hard cutoff, and beyond a point, this has to be what is going back. This
Yeah.
this is this is what is now going to enable everyone who wants to be enabled.
Right.
And yeah, selfishly, it's be more powerful at the end of the day.
Very true. And I think giving back is so, so important. And you're empowering people, and they are ultimately, you enable them, they'll enable you. So, it's like
Yes,
reciprocal. Yeah. Yeah.
win-win for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and again, this is something that I don't see in. I don't think it came after the 90s. I think this is a value that only people born before, let's say, 1990, 1990, 1995 had.
Hmm.
After that, I don't know. The sense of us and whatever I have is ours, that just went away.
Hmm.
That's just become very me, mine,
Yeah.
my career, my growth, my friends, my life. That sense of solidarity.
So, of course, we've spoken about a lot of things, but something which is very close to my heart, and of course, you've spoken about it in, way earlier also, is mental health. But when you talk about mental health of, say, in the context of women creators, and say the emotional labor that they carry, what are your thoughts on that? Is it different from what other women feel, or how do they deal with it?
Uh, I'll tell you, and again, I'm a woman and I can see mental health. Quite honestly, when we speak about mental health in women, I think the dialogue about women and equality and the kind of polarization we face and safety, etc., about women, that has been a very strong ongoing dialogue now for a couple of decades, right? So because there was an ongoing dialogue about what we women face and our problems and our safety and our security and our opportunities, I think the dialogue of mental health also came about more organically for women,
Yeah.
right? Because the conversation was in flow,
Mm.
right? Having said that, I don't think there would be a lot of difference if this conversation was ever to be had. There
Mm.
would be a lot of difference in mental health issues for men and women.
Yeah.
I think they would be very similar. It's just that somehow the boys are conditioned as kids to be strong. Boys don't cry. Boys are strong.
Mm.
Boys don't get tired. Boys are brave.
Mm.
And when men do express any kind of vulnerable feeling, they are often called weak, or something like that. So
Yeah.
I think that mental health is an issue which affects everyone
Yeah.
equally. I'll tell you how it affects me differently as a woman is this sheer frustration, that as a woman, the biological changes or the biological cycles that I go through monthly,
Yeah.
weekly,
Um,
seasonally, age wise, they are not factored in. They are not factored in when it comes to my workplace.
mm.
Um, we work through our period pains.
Yeah.
God knows how bad it is. We work through our PMS.
Mm.
We work through all of it. We work through menopause. We work through hot flashes. So I think that is the only way mental health affects women differently than men.
Mm.
Other than that, mental health per se, yes, as I've dealt with mental health for a long time now, but my and I also got wrongly diagnosed at one point. I was on wrong medication for the longest time, which almost flatlined my body.
Mhm.
And then I was finally diagnosed with dysthymia,
Mm.
and it's a persistent depressive disorder. And I was diagnosed with that. And then they had to sort of put a nuclear attack my body with a lot of medicines. I was having close to 12 medicines a day, and I
Mm.
could barely function. I could barely walk. I could barely talk. It was a pretty horrible time. But even on those days, and I'm not trying to sound brave or like romanticize it, I don't think there was a single day when I didn't get up, get ready, and go to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you have to, at least that works for me.
Mm.
And at least my disorder is not as severe as somebody who might be massively bipolar or massively schizophrenic.
Mm.
Those are disorders I cannot even comment on. They run very intense, they run very deep. But for someone like me, there was a time it used to take me close to 3 hours to get ready for work. And in those 3 hours, I used to break down at least 3 times, maybe more. And, but if you get up, if you get ready for work, if you go sit on your table, if you try and at least do your best
Yeah.
that you can that day, it helps your mental health.
Yes.
If you stay collapsed in your bed, you will then just stay collapsed.
Yeah.
Try your best every day. Mental health is not black and white. It's not like, if, okay, I have been diagnosed with dysthymia, again, there's been no MRI for my brain, right? There
Mm.
could be 40 other things wrong with it.
Mm.
Uh, so I don't know how possible it is to get a perfect diagnosis for mental health.
Mm.
But the fact is that I, as an individual, or you as an individual, we know what is going on in our mind.
Mm. Mm.
And it is up to us to design our day and to design that this is the best I can do today.
Right.
But do your best every day. Even if it means getting ready,
Yeah. Yeah.
and reading a book, getting ready or watching a TV show.
Yeah.
Just do your best that day.
Yeah.
And you'll get through it. Tomorrow will be another day, and then there will be another day. Get the help you need.
Yeah.
Please don't be scared of getting the help you need. Please do not be scared of getting the right medication.
Mm.
We have medication for blood pressure every day, for thyroid every day, for, we go through chemotherapy. People suffering from cancer go through chemotherapies. I mean, we take such extreme medicines and treatments. Why do we not give our brain the medicine it needs? We
Absolutely.
have a multivitamin for our body every day. Why can we not put a multivitamin in our body for our brain every day?
Right.
So please do your best every day, but get the help you need. Please do not ignore it. This is not something you can treat yourself.
Right.
And please don't listen to people who tell you that, it's your life, and you know what you are doing and you can make it what it is. Yeah, sure, you can. But if you were sick and you had a slip disc, you would need help, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you were suffering from high blood pressure, you would need medical help, right? You would know that, okay, my cholesterol is high, I shouldn't eat this and I shouldn't eat that, but you will still consult your doctor. So
Right.
please don't treat your brain any differently.
I agree.
uh, Give and also with people who are suffering from mental health, please stop using it as an excuse for blaming other people or for getting out of stuff. If
Yeah.
you want people to respect the fact that you're suffering from mental health issues and you have a sickness, then please treat it like any other sickness. If you have viral, you say it very clearly that I have a cough, I have a cold, my throat hurts, my fever is this much. You talk about your symptoms.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you are suffering from mental health, please don't sit down and make it difficult for people around you. They are not going to be able to guess what you are going through, and then don't give them a hard time because they don't understand. I have seen a lot of people who suffer from mental health, and they give such a hard time to people around them
Yeah, yeah.
because they are not being able to understand. They are not being able to understand because you're not telling them what your symptoms are. You are not telling them openly what you need.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think even people suffering from mental health have to stop putting people around them through hell.
Yes.
I have seen people do that. You're suffering from mental health. That does not give you the excuse to start going about and breaking things in your house.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
Please be respectful of your disease. Be respectful of the people who are in your life.
Right,
Give them a chance to help you. Tell them what's going on with you, and
yeah,
they will help you. Somebody will help you.
right.
But yeah, stop misusing it. Stop. And it really irritates me. Some people start throwing tantrums at the name of mental health. I mean, what nonsense is that? Don't be a difficult patient.
Right.
Be objective about it. Get the help you need.
Having spoken about mental health and how you're coping with it and how, the tough situations in your life, you're dealing with them, finally, I want to ask you one question. What does success mean to you today? And if there are any other dream projects or books or, that you're hoping to explore for the future, if you could share some of those with us.
Success today, quite honestly, for me, it means my peace of mind.
Okay.
Because when I look back, uh, I don't remember a single day or a single hour where my life wasn't layered with either some kind of stress or some kind of fear or some kind of trauma. I don't think there was a single day in my life like that. And which is what actually my psychiatrist told me recently. I said, what is wrong with me? Why am I not getting okay? I'm having all your medicines. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do. What the hell's going on? And he said, you have been in constant battle with yourself for keeping yourself safe, for keeping yourself secure. And that survival has just become your mechanism. Even when you don't need to be in survival mode, you are in survival mode. And at the end of the day, your body is surprised that, oh, what happened? Why was I not in survival mode today? And he said, at the end of the day, you are kind of at battle with that because that is who you have become. You have become somebody who's always struggling to survive. So I think as of the last maybe 1 year, I have consciously taken decisions which are giving me peace of mind, which are giving me stress-free days. And I think for me, that is true success to have just a calm headspace. It's still work in progress. I'm still working on it. But for me, that really does mean success. And yes, my second book is ready.
Okay, wonderful.
It'll be out in months. It's a complete departure from all kinds of stupid. It's slightly PG rated poetry. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm sure.
My art is going some, sorry?
I said I'm sure it'll go well.
I hope so. And my art is going places. I'm commissioning a lot of work for a lot of people on order. It's going to be exhibited in some very interesting places. It's going to Dubai. It's going places. So I'm actually dedicating a lot of time every week to all my artwork. I wasn't doing as much earlier. That is also giving me immense happiness. My product line is almost ready to roll. Kinare, where we're going to be doing a whole range of art-based furniture. We are going to do a lot of interior accessories, interior-related products, all very, very art-based. So that is going to roll soon. So yes, a lot of very interesting things in the pipeline, and it should be an interesting couple of years. We'll see.
All the best to you. So now, Saheba, while we've come to the end of the conversation, we still have the rapid fire round, which is 5 quick questions and 5 quick answers. Are you ready for that?
Let's do it.
All right. The first one is a very simple one. Your go-to stress buster.
Soup, hot and sour soup.
Okay, great. The next one. If your life were a poem, what would the title be?
Connected.
Okay, that's wonderful. All right, the next one. One thing you wish more people understood about grief.
That it's an ongoing process. Learn how to deal with it, and don't get into a rut. Don't think this keeps happening to me. As long as you're alive, there'll be grief.
Yeah, okay.
So how to cope with it? Don't give it a lot of importance and go on with your life.
All right. Next one. What's your creative fuel? Coffee, silence, or chaos?
All of it, all at once.
That's all right.
All of it.
Now, the last one. A quote or line you live by.
There's a quote in the book, The Fountain, that everyone sells their soul every hour of every day. If I asked you to keep your soul, would you then know why that's so much harder? I think that's my favorite quote of all times.
All right, wonderful. So thank you, Saheba. It's been an absolutely fascinating conversation, understanding the different facets to your personality, how they all come together, and how how your journey is so impactful in such a beautifully different way. I think that is actually the road less traveled. So thank you so much for being on the show.
The honor was all mine. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for tuning in to the About Her Show. If you enjoyed this episode, there's plenty more from where that came from. Our previous guests have shared some amazing stories, so be sure to catch up on past episodes. To keep up with our inspiring conversations and to never miss an update, hit subscribe, rate, review, and share the love. Follow us on social media for some great content, and don't forget to check out our website www.aboutherbysangeeta.com for stories that resonate, inspire, and empower. Know a remarkable woman or an inspiring man blazing a trail? We'd love to hear from you. Drop us a note at web.abouther@gmail.com and let's bring their story to life on the About Her Show.